Yo, what's up guys, you're back with your man TechNick, and today I've got something special for you, the Vivo NEX 3 5G here. I was torn between the 5G variant and the regular one, but 5G in China is going to be awesome. First things first in the box is that cover looks really cool. I'll show you guys it on the phone a bit later. We have a USB Type-C to Type-A port. This is a 5 ampere cable. Since that charging block is amazing, 44 watt charging in the box included. Thank you for that, Vivo. That's really cool to see, especially since we have a mammoth 4500 milliampere battery. And the cool thing with Vivo is they still always include earphones, guys. Whether it's gaming phones, budget phones, or their top range phones such as this, they always include a set of earphones and with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, no doubt. We're going to slip it out the cover and move away from the unboxing over here, and we're going to focus primarily on the device itself with that incredible waterfall display. So taking a look at the back of the device over here, the color looks pretty good. This is the black version. In the picture it actually just looked like midnight black, but we have quite a few blue tinges in there. We're going to go ahead and boot on the phone over here, guys, and then I'll run you guys through the side. So there are actually no physical buttons. We kind of have these touch sensitive buttons on the side here. It would have been cool for them to have included touch sensitive gaming buttons, but that's okay. At the top we have the pop-up camera, which we'll get to in a minute. And then we also have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the left of the phone there's nothing there. We have a downward firing speaker and Type-C port with UFS 3.0 storage on the device, which goes up to 512 gigs, and unfortunately there is no space for an additional memory card. We also have the back camera setup, which is done in like a bit of a circle. Our main sensor is a 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor with an aperture of f1.8. This is a true 64 megapixel sensor and can be binded down to 16 megapixels for a clearer shot when you don't have the best lighting around. Our secondary camera is a telephoto lens. This is a 13 megapixel 2x optical lens with an aperture of f2.5. This is not the best or the biggest lens for a telephoto lens, but it still does a pretty decent job. I would have preferred maybe a depth sensor over here because 2x is not that big a deal anyway. Then we have an ultra wide sensor as our third lens. This is also 13 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2, and we get 120 degree field of view. Not the widest, but it's pretty cool, and the camera bump isn't too big either, which is nice to see even though they have this spatial setup. On the side we actually do have a screen protector on the back over here, just to let you guys know, and that top front facing speaker does indeed pair as stereo sound too. Thanks for that, Vivo. So now we are in the phone officially here, and that screen looks absolutely ridiculously gorgeous, guys. There are basically no bezels, and talking about bezels, Vivo boasts 99.6% screen to body ratio. I do not think that is the case. Look at the top and the bottom chin over there. There is certainly a bit of a border there. We do have these touch sensing buttons for the volume, and you can have them displayed on the screen in different ways, or you can turn them off altogether. That's what I prefer. On the front of the display, we obviously have that massive 6.89 inch AMOLED Waterfall Display, the first of its kind ever seen on a phone. And if you ask me, it pretty much has such beefy curves similar to those seen on the first range of phones with curves, and that was the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, if you guys remember that one. So throwing up the brightness, going into settings over here and then throwing the brightness up, you guys can see how gorgeous that phone is, but unfortunately we are limited to Full HD Plus resolution. It would have been nice to see 1440p resolution, but guys, I cannot see any pixelization whatsoever, and the screen looks absolutely stunning. I cannot tell you how much it takes my breath away. I've gone back to my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus after unboxing this, and guys, it honestly feels like a phone from a year or two ago. This is the phone to go. This is your next move if you have the cash to spend on it, and bear in mind, it's not even half the price of the other top dog phones around there, just at about $600-700. It is pretty much competing there with the likes of OnePlus with their OnePlus Pro series phones. So looks aside, everything on the phone feels nice and snappy. The software looks pretty good. And with our fingerprint sensor over here, we have like the 8th generation under display fingerprint sensor from Vivo, which is really awesome. It is so fast, guys. I cannot tell you how quick it is. But unfortunately, even though we have a pop-up camera and OnePlus does offer face unlock, Vivo does something with this phone where it says that it will only pop up to unlock your face if you pop in your finger wrong 3 times, which kind of sucks. Maybe they'll change that in a software update. Now we're going to move along to the camera department over here, guys. So the cameras, we have those triple sensors, and we're going to use my friend Mr. Groot here. The first one we have, take a look at the bottom left, is a 64 megapixel main shot. Then we have a 16 megapixel bind shot on that 64 megapixel lens. It looks pretty good. Then we have another 16 megapixel bind shot over here, so that I can show you the difference with portrait here. Before we got a natural bokeh, and this is the forced bokeh with the software. We have that ultra wide 120 degree field of view, which looks pretty nice. And then that 2x optical zoom would have done better outdoors with a further away object, but it still looks pretty good nonetheless. Our selfie pop-up camera in the front over here actually comes paired with a flash, believe it or not. Would it be nice to see two cameras? I don't know how often you're going to be using the flash, but I guess it is for the Chinese market in the beginning, and they do dig their selfies. As you guys can see here, flash off with the 16 megapixel selfie cam and flash on with the 16 megapixel selfie cam. It really does brighten the shot up a lot indoors. I must say it's going to be for indoor purposes. Now we do also have a Snapdragon 855 Plus processing chip and 8 gigs of RAM. The 12 gig of RAM version isn't out yet, and we're going to run an AnTuTu bench run and check out the heat temps after it as well. I'm really impressed with all the Snapdragon 855 Plus phones so far, and I really think that the Vivo NEX 3 could do a really good job. And there we go, crowned winner. Take a pause on your screen and take a look at all the Snapdragon 855 Plus processing chips I have checked on AnTuTu, and this is by far the highest, almost hitting 500k. This is impressive, no doubt. My goodness, I cannot believe it. And what I also cannot believe is the temperature. Have another pause on the screen and you'll see 29 degrees Celsius on the battery, and all the other phones are well above 6 degrees higher, and 37, 38 degrees. Take another pause and take a look at the bottom left for other Snapdragon phones. It is incredibly cool, guys. I cannot believe how nice and cool this phone is, and that cover is really cool. I just wanted to pop it on the phone to show you guys what it's all about. It is a little bit thick, but it feels really premium, almost like a OnePlus stone cover case mixed with like leather at the back of it. I like all the interesting cutouts that we have around it, and it really complements the sides of the screen and that pop-up selfie cam. Though I would have preferred a complete open slot at the top and bottom, it still looks like a really snazzy cover for day one use. Guys, the Vivo NEX 3 or 3 5G is one of the most ambitious designs I have ever seen in the smartphone industry. I've never seen such a curve, and the back still looks really nice with that round camera module there. I thought it would have looked a bit uglier than this, but it looks really good. They've still retained the headphone jack, which so many phones are ditching, and they put a flash on the selfie cam. They really are going all out this year, and that waterfall display looks breathtaking. I really cannot get over it. Maybe they aren't hitting that almost 100% screen to body ratio mark, but this is the sexiest screen I've ever seen on the phone, though it is lacking a higher refresh rate than 60, and it is lacking 1440p resolution too. Though no doubt it is a complete stunner, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is TechNick.